now that we have everything introduced, get everything started up, pull up my topics. I also might have some off topics on my phone that I need to pick up. Well,
Just anything small that we can throw in there.
yeah.
Keep the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably look at those while we go through. All right, okay, podcast time. Let's do it.
All right.
All right. So
I know at one point you said it was, are webcams a thing, or is this gonna be audio only?
that is going to be purely up to the people that are joining.
Okay,
I'm
fair enough.
not gonna force anybody to do it, but we will make it an option for a later future one. Because what I might do is, right now what I'm doing is I'm using OBS to record this.
Mm.
And what I'm doing right now is I'm recording our Discord. Recording the Discord on my PC, and I'm recording our little chat panel thing, and it's showing our little icons and stuff,
Oh, okay.
And then later on we might change it to do if people are willing to do webcam stuff, we can. But I think if I ever did full on webcam stuff, I think it would probably end up being just if I could get a more in person thing going, if that ever
Fair enough.
happened, but that may never happen.
We'll keep it in mind.
It is an option for future reference. For now, we're just gonna keep it audio. I will post this stuff to YouTube, and I'll do
Obviously.
editing
Where
and
else
stuff.
would it go?
Yeah. Well, I could also post it on Spotify or iTunes or something like that because
Don't
they
you
have
have
their.
to pay to do that?
No, actually.
I think you do, because that's why I don't do it.
Well, that's possible. But it's also probably because they'll probably get it out there easier. Podcasts don't get out very easy sometimes, so.
Oh no, they don't.
Well, it's kind of
They
hard
do
to.
not.
Kind of hard to get them out easily for people to know. Also, by the way, it's been recording for the past few minutes.
We'll just cut here in a minute. All right. Starting.
I'm probably just gonna put. I'm just gonna put all of this in here. I don't care.
Okay.
This is why it's called the Freeball podcast right here, baby.
It's
gonna be a
include a
free
little
ball.
bit of technical support.
Exactly.
Listen to us murmur about how to
Well,
open
I mean,
Windows security.
That's that's actually true. We did talk about that just a little bit ago. But yeah, no, that's why it's gonna be called the Freeballcast. But yeah, welcome to our Freeballcast. We are here with my friends. We got Aiden.
Hi, hello, that's me.
And then we got Joe.
This is me.
Yeah. Yay.
I don't know. You paused, and I thought I was supposed.
I was trying to think of something to say, and
then
I don't know how I'm supposed to segue this into anything else. This is just the intro. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. So I think, do we want to start off with some formal questions, or do we want to start off with pure gaming stuff right away? Because I'm good with whatever, but I'll leave it up to you guys.
I vote anarchy.
So gaming. Okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, okay, so we'll start on gaming. Since you said anarchy, we'll start off with one of the topics that I really want to go over a lot, which is microtransactions and micro DLCs and the problems it has arose with gaming. Now, I'm going to elaborate a little bit on this. When I say the problems with that it has done to gaming, I mean, you know how Fortnite had the battle pass and all that kind of stuff, right? And how a battle pass has kind of become mandatory for games nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And it also sometimes if you how Fortnite pushes out skins constantly, and it's all micro DLC type stuff. They push out skins like that. Fortnite kind of started that, and it's always been a thing. of course, because Call of Duty's always had something like it, but not like fully. But it's only just now become more popular in a lot of games recently. For every game to pretty much have a battle pass that has cosmetics that you can earn in the game, but also having micro DLC transactions that you can just buy skins on the side as well, which help support the game as well as also kind of like cause some problems. So what are your guys' thoughts on like micro DLCs and microtransactions in terms of like games you've seen recently that have them?
Huh.
I
Personally, it doesn't bother me too much as long as it stays to cosmetics only. Like, if it turns to like pay to win, obviously there's going to be a problem. But like, speaking specifically of Call of Duty, I've thrown more money at Call of Duty since Modern Warfare came out than I probably should admit to, just because I like the operator skins. But
I think anybody
but
does.
um, I have no problem with that because just cosmetics or whatnot. But if we go back to like the debacle of Battlefront 2 when that launched in 2017, oh boy, oh boy, that was a shit show
Yeah, I bet.
and not a good one.
I actually didn't play Battlefront 2 like a whole lot. I had it on my when I first got a PS4, I had it and I played it a little bit, but I never played like the online version. I always played against like the bots and stuff, so I don't really know that entire story.
It was fine after I think it was the Hawaiian state government or something got involved.
Wait,
And then
what?
Oh yeah.
it went to like it went to like the Hawaiian government and like somewhere in Europe or whatever, and it went to like they like banned it or something like and loot boxes because of Battlefront
Yeah.
2.
I remember this.
I
I
don't
remember
remember
seeing the articles
where,
about it where
but
they're
after
like,
that happened, the game was great. They focused on the actual game and like making it play better and like putting in like I'm a big Clone Wars guy, so I was happy when like they added like those clone skins. That was great. But man, that first year was awful. And it was was definitely because the loot box microtransaction pay to win thing that came with it.
EA
Uh,
So
realized all the money they had earned from their pay to win schemes couldn't pay off a lawsuit, so they said, "All right, cool, stop. Sorry."
yeah. Joe,
I
did you have something to add?
yeah, I kind of agree with Aiden. I'm not huge. It doesn't really bother me too much as long as it's not like you're buying a way to win, because I feel like it does just kind of give everybody an advantage to the people who are willing to spend the money on it. And I feel like with cosmetics, they're not the worst thing in the world, but I can see why somebody would have a problem with it now because I remember back when I started playing games originally, if you wanted to get a skin in the game, of course, this is like the most boomer gamer thing I could say, but it's like you had to earn those skins. You had to actually play the game and like unlock them from like doing challenges or some shit like that or getting an achievement. And it's like I understand that and I get that idea too, rather than just throwing your wallet at the screen and going, "All right, cool, give me." Like it kind of takes a little bit of the fun and like out of it. But at the same time, I guess the contradiction to that, or the counter argument is, if it's just cosmetic, it's not really hurting anybody. It's just, ooh, I get to pay an extra $5 to make my character look like a pixie or some shit like that.
So,
I mean,
go ahead.
I actually just started to trail off. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, there's another topic that I wanted to like arise from this as well. You guys have played GTA 5, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
to an extent, at the very least, you know the game good enough. So GTA 5 is one of the biggest problems within in GTA 5 has always had this problem since it's like come out, at least online. GTA Online. Um, it's always had the problem of a paywall. Now
Yeah.
that's
Where you
a
kind of
good
have to
yeah, you have to pay
where you
money
have
to
to like
really
pay
get
for
anything.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to use money to get money to get
Pay
exactly.
those shark
anything.
cards.
Yeah, so that is a perfect example of what kind of like what I was thinking about like when I thought about this cuz like I personally, myself, when it comes to like a battle pass or something like that, I actually enjoy that in a game because
It gives
like
you
it
like a
gives
reason to play.
yeah, it gives me more incentive to like want to play, especially with like Call of Duty. They add like free guns in there that you can just get and like unlock and use, and they're cool and all that. But in games like GTA where they kind of like put everything behind a paywall, that's where it gets a bit too far out for me. Uh, and honestly, I don't think there's really many more games that I can personally think of nowadays that has that problem. I'm sure there are some out there, but GTA is the biggest one that comes to my mind because I love GTA. It's a fun game, especially when you're trying to like screw around with your friends and stuff like that, like on it.
Yeah.
And it's fun to get into the content too, because the content itself is actually not half bad. It's just when it comes to like everything being kind of broken in the game, it kind of makes it weird. Now, where I think they could like even out their whole problem with having like paywalls is if they made the game free, like made online free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they made GTA Online free, then I wouldn't have too many. I would still have problems with it, obviously, because it's not fun to have to pay $100 more than that just to even access some of the content that's in the game. That's just absurd. But overall, if they made the game free, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it because now not only am I paying like $60 for the original game itself just to play the game, I now have to pay an extra $100 if I want to actually see any of the cool content actually without spending hours and hours on end to get to that point, even like anywhere close.
Yeah.
I don't. There was another game that I thought about, but I can't really bring it up in my mind right now. So I
I,
think that's about all I really wanted to cover on that. Unless you guys have something to add in terms of games.
I think it's interesting that a lot of multiplayer anything lately has been we have a season pass of some sort, like or a season's setup. Like Call of Duty has it,
Oh,
Fortnite has it, and like it's kind of it is just like the norm now for a lot of multiplayer with any level of cosmetic to it, if
mm-hmm.
any. Like even with like fighting games, I don't know if I know you don't know a lot about it, or but I know that like a lot of fighting games lately have been a little bit different in that regard, where every season is a new character, a new set of characters with a new set of like maps and stuff. Which a lot of that stuff is free, but then of course buying characters is a whole thing where it's like, oh, you can buy these busted new DLC characters that people are going to use online. Because I remember, I think
Jason
it was early
Voorhees.
last year. Yeah, in what was it, MKX,
Yeah.
or back early last year, I think. Yeah, it was what the hell was the guy's name? It was like Leroy something or something Leroy. He was a character in like Tekken 7 last season, and everybody used him online, and it was the most busted character ever. And they're like, really, everybody paid for the most busted, easy to combo like character in the game, and he was in so many tournaments that some people were getting like pissy, and they were like, not gatekeeping, but they were just like, can we go back to using other characters? Like, can we get some variety online? I don't want it to keep fighting. I think it's like Leroy Smith. It's like I want to keep fighting like Leroy Smith players. I want to actually like go back to fighting like Kazuya or some shit or Jack Seven.
I want to have fun with the game again.
I want it to keep dipping out of matches constantly because it's the same fucking player or the same character played by somebody else.
Yeah.
And I can kind of get that, but fighting games are a whole different breed of like season and setup.
One thing I will
If you're
note. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but I was gonna say like I don't play them competitively or even just casually enough to even have a real say in it, other than as like a passive viewer.
Yeah. One
Mm.
thing I will note though is Call of Duty has taken a good step towards like being more towards their community in the fact that they are now allowing um I think just DLC overall just to be free in their games
Yeah,
now. That was a really good step for
Mhm.
them because like it allows them to open up a little bit more like availability, and it's stuff like that that also like allows you to like kind of justify the microtransaction stuff, because now the DLC itself is not paid. You don't have to pay for it like in the past, where you had to pay like $10 for like a season pass or something like that just to get the new maps or something like that.
Yeah.
But now rather it's content that's pushed out, but like, and then like it's also supported by like microtransactions that don't change the game. That's a decent formula. That is not terrible in that kind of formula, where you're still making enough money and the content that you put out is good enough for people to want to buy it in the first place. So it's like it's good. It's a good like push towards like a new sort of gaming, because like so long as like the content you're putting out is decent enough, and it's like not like, even if you are charging for it and you're not charging like $40 for a DLC, I think you're on good terms at that point, because most people I
Yeah.
don't think would complain about that.
Yeah, DLC to me is in general is it kind of scales between how much what you're getting out of it and how much it's probably worth. The difference between buying a cosmetic skin or buying like a full-on addition to like a campaign or a story mode. Those are two different breeds of like DLC, but at the same time, it all kind of fits under the same umbrella.
um yeah, no, that, yeah, like honestly, it's a good push. Like a perfect example of like a map that you would want to buy in like Call of Duty is like, if you don't ever want to buy this, you're kind of like a terrible gamer if you play Call of Duty and if you never played it. Mob of the Dead,
Oh yeah.
greatest zombies map of all time. You don't buy that shit on Black Ops 2, you're kind of weird.
Yeah.
Either you don't play zombies or you just aren't a COD player. That's
Yeah.
how it is.
I'm not gonna hold it against you if you don't play zombies, but if you
Or
do
you-
play
or-
zombies and if you've never played that map, do it.
You're that one dad that like doesn't really play a lot of games because he's always busy with work and kids, but he always turns on for like an hour a day, and he only jumps into multiplayer just to like just shoot around for a little bit. And he goes, "All right, I have to go back to putting my kids to sleep or some shit." 'Cause that's how my manager is at work. He plays games, but he doesn't like get fully into it. He's just like, I just kind of do it to pass the time between like taking my kids to basketball practice and making dinner. And it's like, yeah, that's how you are. Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with the passive
Yeah.
gaming, to be honest.
As long as it like entertains you and it doesn't really take away from anything responsibility wise, it's not really a problem. It's just like, hey, if you like to sit down and just play shooters for an hour, then go for it. If you like to spend 30 hours of your life trying to master Breath of the Wild, then hey, that works too. Just, don't let it interfere with what you need to do.
Oh no.
That was
God,
a
I
whole
need to
can of
finish
worms you
Breath of
opened
the
up
Wild.
recently about just speed runs and how painful that whole situation is.
We
If
went
you're
into
like,
a conversation like that like a while back ago
I
about
think it was like,
speedrunners.
was it 2 days ago?
I think it was like I think it was about a week ago actually, because
Was it really?
yeah, it's been a while
I'm
since
losing my
like you.
mind.
I feel you there. I'm like losing track of time so easily. But yeah, like, well, while we're on the topic of it, speedrunners and that, like, when it comes to speedrunning, there is a fine line between being like overly obsessive with the game that you're playing and just being a decent enough speedrunner to like just casually do a speedrun.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there are some people like, like I get that it's their livelihood and like good on them for like making something out of that. But like if you're kind of like that person that doesn't really do the whole like streaming thing or anything like that, but you dedicate so much time to do like a speed run, which there's not very many people out there because like speedrunners are relatively popular. Like there are a lot of speedrunners that have like quite a bit of like viewership because of their speedrun skills and their knowledge about the game. Some people watch them for the knowledge of the game. Some people just watch them for the pure like amazing awe that they can just speedrun the hardest game in the world.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's good that we have like Twitch and YouTube as a platform to give them because prior to all that, they probably had nothing to do. They were just like,
well,
well, this
prior
is
to
just a
all
thing I
that, there
do.
was like a bunch of like, I don't want to say off-brand. I don't know the word for it, but there was just a bunch of different other websites that you could just do streams on, that some people even like actually still do. Like there are some websites that like speedrunners or even just like streamers in general will use that aren't as popular because like there's a streaming platform called Caffeine or something like that. It's not as popular as
I've
everything
never
else.
even heard of that one.
It's a very strange one, but like I only know of like one like slightly popular YouTuber that plays it or like that uses it as their streaming thing, but it's like it's just the most random thing. Like there are so many different platforms for streaming right now, and it's good, but it's also kind of scary because like with the way Twitch and YouTube have been going, like it's kind of a scary boat to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the moment you say one thing out of line, and then they're just like, "All right, we're gonna have to shut you down for a little bit."
Well, Twitch is just. This is actually one of the topics that was in our ideas that I didn't really think I was gonna go over today, but since we brought up streaming, stuff, like with recent Twitch, like with how Twitch has been handling things recently, it's been kind of rough. Like to say that you would want to go to streaming, at
Yeah.
least on Twitch, because like streaming on YouTube isn't actually like too terrible, and like Twitch can be a little iffy sometimes, but they're not a terrible site to be on. It's just the way they're handling things right now, it's really rough.
Yeah. I know that what was I thinking about? There was a point in time like a year or so ago when there was like a weird separation at Twitch HQ between the Twitch people who like ran Twitch and then the weird like subsection that was dedicated to like banning people and moderation and all that stuff. Like somehow they didn't have in contact with each other, or it was almost like they were two separate entities within the same company. And it
Yeah.
was really weird because people were like, "I'm getting banned for shit that doesn't make any sense," and then that the main like administrators of Twitch are like, "I don't know, dog. That's not our department. That's whatever the fucking moderator department is." And even then, they don't. It's like somehow they didn't have communication with each other, at least as far as the public could get a hold of. And
That's
and I,
really fucking weird.
yeah,
It
I'd have to scroll. I have to go back pretty far. I know it's been at least a year or so because I remember seeing it in like late 2019, if I remember correctly, or early 2020, where they were like, it was just this weird kind of dynamic that they had, because it was definitely when people were like getting pissed over all these e-girls and e-thoughts are getting this mass amount of attention on Twitch and they can get away with almost anything. It was around the time with like Alinity and her cat and all that crap, I think,
oh
because there was some stuff she did and people were like, how is she not getting banned for this? And then she eventually had to like she had to go out of her way to be like, you guys got to ban me, like I feel stupid about this or something. And this is what started begging the whole question, and this is probably what got the snowball rolling down the mountain, which was, you know, this is just a, yeah, sorry, I like lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's just this whole mm, avalanche of people getting banned and unbanned and people getting certain passes when others couldn't. It was just a mess. It probably still is, apparently.
to be honest, like that all of that is exactly like the kind of stuff that is popping up right now. Like it's problems they're still having. Like some people aren't getting banned for things, some people are getting banned for the dumbest of things. Like it makes no sense. And don't even get me started on the DMCA stuff that's happening with Twitch right now,
Oh
because that
god.
the way they're handling the DMCA is just like, I get that it's a bot, but there should be to an extent, you should be at least trying to help your creators rather than just telling them, "Oh, you did something wrong." It's like what YouTube is doing with their creators right now. You did something wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. Like there that's always been kind of a problem with like DMCA's and stuff like that. And
Not
it's
that it's really a big help, but didn't Twitch recently make like a library of music that's safe to use?
I don't know actually. I think they might have.
I th-
Like they
I
did
know I
something
know
like
I know
that.
YouTube
Not that it
has
really
like
helps.
No, it really doesn't. Because I mean, like,
I know
still,
like the YouTube Studio Editor was like that too, where they're like, you can use the music in the Studio Editor, and it's like it's garbage. No one wants to use it.
yeah.
It's ass.
Well, it also it's funny because like some streamers who have been streaming for like years lost VODs because of this. Like they have years of VODs and clips that are saved up they had just had to delete because Twitch wasn't taking it properly. They weren't doing the right things for it. So like it really kind of like frustrated a lot of people. And honestly, like since I'm not like really that big, it doesn't bother me too much, but it does bother me that people have had this problem. It's ridiculous. Like you would think a company that is making money off of their creators would want to support their creators more than they are doing right now.
Yeah, no shit. Instead of kissing ass to the big corporations that are just like, hey, we don't like that one creator breathed to the rhythm of a Jay-Z song, so now we have to take down his whole VOD. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like that's like exactly the problems that are happening with Twitch right now. And it's in my opinion, it's just the way Twitch is handling everything and is just poor.
Just start a trend. Let's just bring back Mixer and hope that it
Oh God, no! I don't even want to start with
undo that
Mixer,
whole
man.
mess.
Mixer was honestly almost worse than Twitch in a sense, because like they just said "fuck you"
Yeah.
to everybody on their platform. You could
Yeah.
either move to Facebook or you could go back to Twitch. Like some people made a livelihood on that thing, and like they just said "fuck you." Like,
I actually I had a friend who I knew in high school who started streaming after he graduated, and he was on Mixer for the longest time, and then he had to move over to Twitch and YouTube because he's like, yeah, I think he left prior to Mixer getting sold to Facebook,
oh
but
yeah,
it was like a week prior, so he saw the storm coming and said,
Oh
"Nah, I'm
wow.
jumping ship."
he's lucky. He's lucky.
He jumped ship in a very timely manner, but he was because I remember he tweeted about it. He's like, "Damn, I'm glad I missed that bullet. Dodged that."
I think personally, I've been thinking about like whenever I stream, because I'm trying to get a little bit more into streaming. Uh, and like with that, it comes a little like awkwardly because like I got time restraints and stuff like that, and like I like to stream with other people, but I should really start working on like streaming as my own streamer. But like I've been thinking about whether or not I want to switch from Twitch to YouTube or just stay on Twitch and see how that goes. Like I've been kind of
Hmm.
contemplating it because like I don't think YouTube streaming is that bad. I actually think it's almost really good because like the fact that you can start off as at a 10,000 bit rate off the bat on Twitch or on YouTube, and Twitch only allows up to I think it's like 7,000 to 8,000 if you're affiliated. Like, I mean, it's kind of a nice
I
thing,
mean,
but is it really going to be that big worth of a change for that kind of stuff? Like, that's the type of questions I ask myself every time I do think about that. And I have thought about because I think Streamlabs now has an option to be able to stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
just about to suggest that because you're at the you're still small enough to where like you're not like signed on a contract or anything, so you could very viably do both and see what turns out better.
My only problem with that is I don't know how my internet would hold up on that because I know my internet's good and all, but I don't know if it like make a
Well,
big
I think
difference.
how that works that it goes off to like some other server and then the server does the splitting for you so it doesn't tax your internet as much as it would to do two streams.
Okay, yeah, I've never really looked into it too much because I have thought about it, and it only really kind of like came up as a thing like recently, so I haven't really looked too much into it when it comes to
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But it's definitely been a thought in my head before because like I wouldn't mind streaming on YouTube, but at the same time like where it comes to YouTube, it's also just like a very scary platform where like it's got a lot of its own issues, just like Twitch does. But I feel like YouTube can be a little bit more like less,
Relax.
yeah, less relaxed about it. Um, but I mean, I feel like
Hmm.
to a certain extent, I don't think it would really matter because I'm not that like I'm not like super un-PG where I'm gonna be like saying some really bad things on stream. Like, why would you even do that in the first place?
You
But
just really
like,
pushed the limits.
but like YouTube can become like that kind of thing where they'll demonetize you for just saying like the one bad word, and that's like, eh.
Hmm.
Yeah, their whole business model between like I don't know, YouTube's business model with like their creators confuses the hell out of me. Considering like what is it? if you want, like, the case in point is always the YouTube Rewind, where you see that they take all the creators that aren't the most creative people, but rather just the ones that made them the most money that year, like the Paul brothers, the other white people. I don't know. I don't keep track of this stuff. I know all their faces. I just can't name them
They're
because I don't
white
care
people.
enough.
Oh,
There's some color in there, but there's
no.
Michael from Vsauce.
Oh
He's also
god.
white, but he shows up every once in a while. PewDiePie was there for a while, and then he wasn't. He
Vanos
might get
Gaming
back.
was
I
on it
don't.
once, I think.
Oh, is he? What color is he again? I just know his
He's
GTA.
Asian. He's Asian.
Okay, I shouldn't say it like that.
What color? Oh
Um,
my god, Joe.
Never mind. I gotta tone that down. But anyways, the point
I
is,
mean, it's a podcast, so I'm not gonna care that much. But Jesus Christ.
just gonna blurb out like a whole sentence. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that they showed a bunch of people that were just like mostly on the trending page, I should say, and a
Yeah,
lot of the people who were the most creative, like which could have, which could come up as like a term of not perception, but preference. Like somebody says, "Well, I really like this channel," and they didn't get featured. It's like, yeah, but I mean, you might be one of like the handful of people that would really want that or something. So it's kind of hard to say, but at the
well,
same time,
if you
it
look,
just seems like you chose like a bunch of people that are easy or marketable to use, as opposed to people who actually put the work in.
well, it's funny you say that because actually, I don't think PewDiePie even got on a rewind for like a long time, and he's been the highest subscribed YouTube channel for a long time. Even when he was at his
Yeah,
like peak of highest subscribers, they literally have never had him on a rewind. I don't think. Like I think he only just recently got a YouTube rewind, which is funny to me because it's like you said, you're
he was in like the first one, I think, like the very first one, if I remember
yeah, I
correctly.
think so, but
He
like
was at, like, the very end or the start. I remember he, like, picks up the button and goes, "Wow," or like, he makes a comment about it, but that's, like,
yeah.
it.
Actually, I think it's like when he was I think he was like on a beach side. I think I know what you're talking about. He was like on a beach
Yeah,
side where
he, like, unearths the button out of the sand or some shit, and he's just like,
mhm.
"Whoa,
Yeah, it's like next
I
to a
work for
pier
this
or
company."
something.
Mhm. So he was in one but not like fully enough to make it really like that worth a while.
Yeah.
But I mean like you do like you bring up a really good point. It is hard to tell what YouTube's like business model really is because um like it's so weird. Like it seems like it caters honestly more towards the business side of YouTube rather than the content creation side of YouTube. Like YouTube right now, as of now, is not really uh it's not really, I want to say it's not up to the like content creators, but it's not really content creator friendly, really.
No, especially not to the smaller ones out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even with the bigger ones just like the bigger channels just get DMCA'd or like copyright infringed, and the problem is YouTube does nothing about it. They
They like
No.
to turn the blind eye a lot.
well yeah, they like really just like the biggest content creators will have problems with like sort of DMCA things, and like it's just ridiculous. And this is kind of going to be a segue for our next topic, which is going to be our the recent censorship in a lot of things. Um, it's weird because people will get demonetized for being like 18 and plus, so it makes no sense to me why they are trying to do that. Because like, sure, kid friendly stuff is good, but like you're also going to get a good portion of your viewership out of like just any range of people, because any range of people watch YouTube. Like, God, there's some 60-year-olds that I know that watch YouTube just because they like it a little bit more than TV shows. And even then, there's like, they just like both. Like, some people have good creativity that enough to make it to the point where, people actually, like, in older age groups actually enjoy it. Like, especially when it comes to like a podcast type thing. If it's like a podcast that talks more of like a real world type stuff, like they'll actually listen to stuff like that on YouTube and stuff like that. So it's like there's a different, YouTube is a very different variation of content creation, but they don't really, they cater more to I don't want to say they cater to a younger audience. They seem like they do, but in reality, it's just their monetizing system is kind of like quote unquote catered to it.
Yeah.
Because like obviously you get demonetized for saying something weird or like saying like the F word in like the first 2 minutes or something like that. So like
Yeah.
like when it comes to their business model, again, it's confusing to me because it makes no sense to me. Like I don't know. It's a very very confusing process of what they do, and the worst part is they don't put any effort into trying to work with their creators. They kind of just put their own like eyes on it and say, "All right, this is what everybody wants."
Yeah. Well, it's like YouTube at this point, it could almost just be treated like television. It's just like there's kids channels, there's like the middle channels where it's kind of like not not for it's kind of like any age group could really watch it, and then there's like adult-ish channels where most people who are above like 18 could watch. And the fact that they even have like a kids YouTube app and all this other separate crap is like, so you have all this, you can separate all this out. Clearly, it's within your realm of possibility, but you still get pissed off at people for making content that's not for kids when it's like that's not really your problem. That's more like the parents' problem to be like, hey, you shouldn't be watching Pyro Cynical when you're only 6. Like, stay on the other shit. It's not really a. It doesn't really. They shouldn't be up to that kind of stuff and restrict people's creativity because some kid might click too far into the wormhole of suggested. Like that's
Recommended page. Don't even
yeah. Just
that's
keep
an
scroll
entire that's an entire like confusing mess itself.
Like the recommended page is both a blessing and a curse. I'll get recommended a video from like 7 years ago that I didn't know existed or forgot existed and was like, damn, I really did need to remember this one video that I forgot
Happy
was there.
souls, man. Happy souls.
It's like a fucking. Sometimes it's usually just like a really like pixelated video of like a clip from a movie that I'm like, oh yeah, that part. That's kind of nice actually. Or even then it's like a video that like nobody knows about and then it just randomly gets recommended and then the video blows up like 3 years later and then the creator in the comments is like, man, this really blew up really late.
All right, Aiden. This is a section where you should like really shine because you're the biggest content creator here. You post more things than I do.
I am.
You post way more
Oh.
than I do.
I mean, you're more than me. I don't post anything. I just shit post on Instagram. That's about the
So,
most I.
and plus we haven't heard you speak, so speak. You know.
Well,
I may be the owner of this podcast, but that doesn't mean anyone else can't talk.
Passing the talking stick to you.
I'm more so just kind of taking some of this in because you're hitting points that I've never really thought about before. Because I don't tend to think about that stuff because I just stay to my own bubble. I know what I want to do, and I know that there are people out there like me who want to watch that.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
that's a good way to look at it, at the very least, especially if like as an encouragement, because that's like when you look at it in the picture of mine, it kind of just like is a slight discouragement, but at the same time, it's like motivation.
but all YouTube, I since I had I can't talk today. I've also been doing YouTube for a while, and man, that place is just like a cesspit that really doesn't need to be one.
Yeah.
Like, kind of straying away from like issues like because the struggles of being the small creator. I'm gonna kind of go to that because that's what I think about the most since I am one. It's fucking hard to get anywhere on that platform. Like you put up one video and you could put up like a video every day for like 3 years and get no more than like I don't know 5 of video. It's just
I think that also goes to like the whole like recommendation page. Like the problem
you
with
gotta
that.
play to the fucking algorithm that no one seems to understand unless you're like at the top. And most of
Yeah.
the time they don't even know what they're doing.
Well, like I think the way the algorithm really kind of works most of the times is like I don't think they really ever bother showing too many channels that are like under 1,000, unless it's like specific to
No, yeah.
whatever, like specific to whatever like you were looking at. Like it will have like the algorithm can be weird sometimes, where it does like sometimes show people who are under like 100 like in post random small videos. Sometimes it will show that, but that will only cater to like based off your search kind of stuff. So if you're looking for
Yeah.
videos kind of like that, that's where YouTube will shine. They will show you something like that in your algorithms if you're enjoying that. But if you're like kind of like watching the bigger stuff, they will never show you anything under someone who has like 1,000 views on each video at the
And
very
most of the
least.
time, and with things like that, they keep showing you videos from the same creator too. Like they keep you in the circle of watching the same person over.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's also like autoplay. I've noticed that autoplay has been very, very obnoxious because it will constantly like sometimes I'll watch YouTube and I'll watch like these really long videos and then it'll go back to previous long videos that I've watched like so many times before and it will not stop playing those in a constant loop. And I'm like, why do you bother doing? I've seen the videos like a million times. Yes, I love the videos, but it doesn't mean I want you to keep looping that shit. Like I want new
Well, then that
stuff.
begs the question: why do you have autoplay on? Like, who
I
does that?
Well, cuz I go to sleep and I have it
Well,
keep playing.
no.
I
The
watch
problem with
YouTube before I go to sleep.
I turned autoplay off when I decided to try to go to sleep to ASMR videos, and I woke up to a video of James Charles at like 3 in the morning, and I about saw my life flash before my eyes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I
That,
was like,
that
ah,
that's the thing though, is it's so weird how weird the algorithm can be for that kind of stuff. Like autoplay is so weird and so is the algorithm itself. It's so random. It's such
Mm.
a random, like you said, it's a cesspool of randomness. It just makes no sense. And like you said, it is really, really hard when you're a content creator, especially starting off, because the problem with it, I think the biggest problem with like content creation now is that people know what they're looking for in content creation. They have their YouTubers that they want to
Yes.
see. They have all their like fancy stuff that people do in their videos that they love to see in those videos. And as a smaller content creator, you're not able to push out that kind of content like as easily because obviously you either have like a side gig that you're doing like or like your main job that you're doing and then you got to come back and this is the side
Mhm.
gig, and it does take time to get good at that kind of like editing styles depending on like on what they like out of it, like if they like the longer cut their versions of videos or if people like the edited funny moment style videos, which has kind of been like the most highly, I would say it's like the highly like recommend or not recommended but highly most watched one version, I would say. Like
Yeah.
people enjoy more of a funny moment type thing rather than like a playthrough type thing anymore, because like
Like specifically, what I do is I I don't consider myself to be the cringy on the cringy side of it, but I do like Minecraft Let's Plays. I won't deny that. That's what my YouTube is.
you
Twitch is more of a variety, but that's not here or
mhm.
there. Um, and it's that just the Minecraft Let's Play section of YouTube is such a deep pit that if you start there and that's all you do, you're not going anywhere. Yet somehow, out of how long have I been doing this shit? At least on this channel, anyways. 3 years now, I think.
How many?
I've
Your mic kind of
somehow
went weird.
3 years, I think.
Three,
I don't
okay.
know. I don't remember. At least for this channel, I don't know how long I can. Other channels don't exist, but I've been on and off since 2013. But we won't talk about that. um, I've just now on this channel hit 57 subscribers. I think because yesterday I looked, it was 56.
Yeah,
But
jeez.
and like I could very easily change up the style of content, but I don't know. I just enjoy doing this, and I technically have another channel where I do exactly that, like the live channel. Let's talk about that shit for a minute. Stream highlight channels. That's where YouTube's at right now.
oh
People here
yeah.
for like recorded, edited content here for like the 15-minute stream highlights from a 5-hour stream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Stuff
It,
like that is a
it
big thing.
I
Like a
mean,
lot of
that's
people like, because a lot of people don't have time to really watch like the larger things, you know. A lot of people
oh
like
yeah,
seeing
I
the
totally
highlights
get
of the
that.
streams, and like that's and the best part is the highlights of the streams can either be a highlight of someone doing really good in a game or a highlight of something funny, really fucking funny happening. It's like it's a very weird variation of things that like combine, but people love that kind of stuff because they're looking for the shortened version of it. It's like how TV
Yeah.
shows air like for 30 minutes a week. Like it's 30 minutes. It's
Mhm.
not like it's like 2 hours that you have to spend time watching something. It's 30 minutes. So it's the same thing in this sense. Like people love to watch the like smaller cut stuff, cuz personally I think I'm the same way. I enjoy a funny moment type thing out of like a longer thing, but I will watch longer videos nowadays because that they kind of like depending on how they're done, they can be done really well. But
Mhm.
like it's more of a high demand of like funny videos lately and highlights of things, which
Yeah.
is kind of it is like you said, as a content creator who started out doing one thing, it's hard to move to a different like style.
Yeah. Well, I think that it kind of boils down to the way like people do business in like a general sense. You either play to the market because that's how you gain the most success, but possibly at the cost of it being something that you don't really enjoy. Or on the flip side, you do something you really enjoy at the cost of not gaining a lot of instant traction because of the fact that, you know, you're playing more to a niche audience. Which it
Mhm.
doesn't always have to be one or the other, but that seems to be like the general consensus
I
is.
I kind of try to hit all the markets because I have the my main channel, the freebie channel, where I do edited, recorded content. I have my Twitch channel, where I do stuff live. I've got the live channel where the highlights go, but then I also have the VOD channel because there are people out there, myself included, who will happily sit down for like 2 hours, have a VOD on the left monitor, have like Call of Duty on the right monitor, and just listen to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well, I do
definitely.
that.
But
I do that like
it's
in general, like when I'm
mhm.
doing like just housework or just I need something to do for like an hour. I'm
Yeah,
just like I don't really want to watch a
like
movie, so
VOD
maybe I'll just
channels
throw
are
on.
great for that.
Yeah.
But
A lot of bigger like streamers nowadays have like a VOD channel. Like a good YouTuber I like to watch is his name's Kaif. Um, he has his main channel, which is more of his like funny moment edited stuff, like more like catered to the like highlight type style thing. And then he has his Kaif VODs channel, and he posts all of his stream VODs on there as much as he can. He also does this thing where on it he posts like Twitch clips of the month as well, where he'll take all the Twitch clips that
ooh,
people have clipped in and put it in like that section, and like he'll play that and he'll edit it himself as well, like the way he likes to edit it on his other channel as well. And I love that kind of style, and I love like a content creator that can do that because it's a good style, because then now not only can you watch what you missed out on the stream, because he's a UK streamer. So I don't really get to watch his
mm,
streams as much, even though I'm awake late at night most of the times anyways, but like I don't get to watch his streams as much. So being able to like go on YouTube and see his highlights or like his VOD of his streams, I like to like put those on and watch them.
Mm. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna kind of veer off just a little bit after I make some statements here, or after I say something. We're gonna try to move on to another topic here soon. But with the whole content creation thing, um, you said you've been doing it for 3 years, yeah. What would you
well,
say?
way longer.
Well, yeah, three years is like the biggest one on that channel for now.
I was wrong. I've been doing stuff on this channel specifically since 2015. My
Okay,
bad.
so it's like 6 years then.
It's been a long time, not even counting the other two channels I've had.
Mm-hmm. But I think another problem with content creation, I especially one that I have quite a lot, is that I find it hard to play one game a lot. So
Yeah, I
like
can get that.
streaming and recording something for that long and getting an audience off of a game is like the hardest thing for me. A variety streamer slash like YouTuber is such a hard thing to manage nowadays. Cause
To be like a variety streamer, I would say a variety streamer is easier, but to be like a variety YouTuber, you really have to make it so that the people come for you and not what you're doing. And
yeah.
that can be really hard.
Oh yeah, it is very difficult. And actually, I think it has like it's a double-edged sword for both YouTube and Twitch, because Twitch, yeah, you can make a viewership off of uh like a game, but you can also make a viewership off of like just yourself as well. Cause like I mean that's what like a lot of the Fortnite YouTuber or like streamer, oh god I can't speak, the the Fortnite streamers and stuff like that, they became big, and then they kept their viewership because the people actually enjoyed watching them, not just because of the game. They just like the first time they saw them was through the game, obviously. So it makes it hard, like it's very hard to cater and be able to like get people to stay for your kind of like for you exactly. And like it goes back to the whole people have their preferences and kind of like funny stuff and how things go, obviously. So like it this entire kind of like corporation slash like way of like being able to create your creativity stuff, it all like kind of just comes down to like a sense of just being able to do it consistently, because like consistency is like how a lot of big YouTubers would say they have made it, really, is they do it for years and years and years, and they kind of like
Yeah.
and like you said, there's a market. You have to play with the market, and that is the hardest part as a creator to do, because in order to do that you have to like what you're doing while also like being able to put into your own variation of like creativity. And where with the market it's hard to do that. So one thing I like to say is the most popular game right now is, I would think, Among Us. A lot of bigger streamers and stuff like that have been creating a lot
Is
of
that
them.
still that
It,
popular?
I think
thought
it's
it died off.
relatively still popular. I think it's starting to
Like, I know
die
people
out
still
now.
play it, but
Yeah, I think it's
I
starting to
thought
die
Valheim
out
was
as
at the top
much.
right now.
I think that is actually probably one of the high ones at the moment. But like the biggest ones is like being able to play like catering to that kind of market is kind of hard, because if you don't like the game,
Mm-hmm.
then like and you're not enjoying what you're doing with that kind of creativity and you just didn't like care for it, then it's hard to like build up anything out of it, because then you're going against the market, and the market kind of just, like I said, people have their preferences. They like what they see in that kind of category, so they're gonna keep with that category. So unless they've been watching like a YouTuber for years, for not just for the game that they play, but just because they enjoy the YouTuber, like it's a hard thing to do when you're not already established.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna jump off that conversation because we've been going on that for about. Hold
Please.
on.
It's starting to piss me off.
it's
I think about that
we're gonna
shit
end
way
we're
too
gonna
often.
I think-
end the podcast just angry and flustered and just like I'm done, and then we'd all
So,
leave, and that's
on that note,
that's
I
the
think
cue.
is there any other topics that we really wanted to go over in this? I think we kind of
you want to
like.
touch on?
I think we. Oh right, yeah, there is one more that I would like to touch up on. But I think we went through most of the topics like as like subjects rather than like catering to them.
We kind of just naturally flowed through them.
Yeah,
This is one thing
a
reminded
lot of
us.
it kind of came with it. But one thing I want to talk about is one thing I'm really excited about, which is Sony has announced that more PlayStation exclusives will be coming to PC as ports.
I'm
So
excited for this.
yes, I am super excited because there are a lot of PlayStation games that I would love to play. Me being me, because I am I am purely just a PC person now. I cannot grab a console and play it because it's just so unorthodox for me. I have to have a mouse and keyboard in front of me or I'm gonna lose it. I mean,
Now, I guess the important question for that is they're coming to Steam, right? Not the Epic Store?
if they come to Epic Store, I don't know what I'm gonna
We're
do.
going to Origin. Fuck you.
I mean, yeah, even Origin I wouldn't mind, but fuck Epic Games,
Even
man.
Origin's on Steam now.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the games on Origin are on Steam now, really, because Apex was on Origin. Now it's on Steam.
It's stupid. You still need to have Origin installed, but it's on Steam.
Yeah, but at least now
Yeah,
I can
so
just
whenever I play
just
Titanfall
play.
2 or Battlefield 4, it opens up Origin and Steam, and my computer like about has an aneurysm, and I'm like, I just want to fucking play.
Well, I would assume that because they did this with what is it, Horizon Dawn or some shit
Zero
like
Dawn.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, Horizon
that is
Zero
on
Dawn.
Steam.
That is on Steam. Yes.
I have that.
So I would assume that is they're gonna be their biggest platform they'll put it on. But
It's where most of the people are. So
well, yeah. But the biggest thing is what games out of this port would you love to see to come? Joe already knows this answer because I've been fucking. I've been
I just know you so
railing his
well,
ear. Yeah, I've been railing his ears with the game that I love on
Look,
PlayStation.
if I didn't want to hear you talk about it, I wouldn't say anything.
So out of all of this, what are your games that you guys are looking forward to come to play from PlayStation to PC?
I guess since I've never owned a PlayStation, I really can't say. I guess there's games I've always been curious about playing that have never been on like any other platform other than PlayStation. Like I've always wanted to try the Infamous series because it looks fun.
they're fun. Yes.
There's the Infamous series. I guess I don't know. Maybe Spider-Man would be cool. Could touch God of War possibly. That's really all I've ever like been interested in. There aren't a lot of like I can't really think of it. If I look at a list, I could probably tell you, but off the top of my head, those are the three that are like, oh yeah, I'd like to try those out and not have to go buy a whole console to play God of War, Infamous, or Spider Man.
What about you, Aiden?
For me, I'm more interested in, say, some of the classic games, not so much the newer things.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, new PlayStation just doesn't really interest me, except for like Spider-Man. I would literally kill someone to have like the original Sly Cooper series on PC. Holy shit. I love those games so much.
I've seen people play it before.
1, 2, and 3 were great, and 4 was very iffy because there was a different studio behind that one. But I still enjoyed it. Honestly, besides that, maybe Ratchet and Clank. Just kind of like those third-person adventure games. I'm not really into anything else. Maybe Killzone. Killzone was fun.
Oh, I forgot about Killzone. Jeez.
I don't even know what that is.
I think that was supposed to be Sony's answer to Halo.
Yeah.
I think that's how they described it.
Let me look that up real quick.
Oh,
clearly
they
it didn't win. But
it had its perks, but it wasn't like a standout game.
I think I've seen this actually. I don't think I've actually
I guess
seen
some other games I'd want. It's not really up to Sony, it's up to Sega. I love Persona 5. I would love to have more Persona games on PC.
I was just about to say because I played through 4 like twice, and I'm like,
there are some. 4 is on PC. They just released 5 Strikers, and I've been playing the shit out of that. But I'd like the rest of them.
Yeah, because I want to play 5 and I want to play 3. I've only ever played 4 on PC, so I'm like, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah,
I've
played 5 and 5 Royal. Honestly, Joker coming to Smash was half the reason I got a PlayStation to play Persona 5. So I won't lie, it was worth it. I've gotten other uses out of the PlayStation, but that was the main reason why I got it. But if that came to PC, my life would be over. I'd just play that nonstop.
The biggest game I can't wait to come to PC is Bloodborne. Like that was one of my biggest favorite games.
I don't like those types of games.
I'm a nerd
bitch.
for
I don't like
anything.
'em.
I'm a nerd for anything like Souls like. But that is one of the biggest ones. There was Infamous would be really cool because I did play through Infamous 2. I beat it. I beat both endings, I think.
Mhm.
What else was there? God of War would be actually really cool, especially like the newer ones. They look pretty decent.
If God of War came to PC, I'd actually probably play them. Right now I have no interest in it.
But another big one would be Demon Souls, because I've never played the original
Ooh.
Demon Souls, and there's no way for me to play the newer one because PlayStation 5s are just non-existent, and I don't really feel like spending $500 on a PlayStation just to play one game. So if I could see the newer remastered Demon Souls, I would love that as well. Other than that, let's see, like what other games? Those are like the biggest ones that I would really say I want to come to PC, and that I'm like the most excited to see if they do. I think I saw a list of games.
I just
This isn't so
this
much like a PlayStation game, but I heard that I think it's what the Kingdom Hearts games are all coming to PC. That's not strictly PlayStation. I'm excited for that.
I actually didn't hear about that one. That's interesting. I've never really been
That
too
one
big
I
of a
heard about that about
fan
last
of
month.
PlayStation. The problem is I've never really been a big fan of that kind of formula where it's like Final Fantasy-esque, or like I don't know. I've never.
RPG stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I've never.
having
Final Fantasy's kind of changed, at least from my understanding. It was like turn based, and now it's like open world, like you can like free roam and hack and slash kind of stuff too.
no, that's what I want.
I wouldn't like.
That's
I
kind
mean,
of
I'm not
what
against.
that's what 7 remake looked like, and that's kind of what
Oh
14
yeah.
was.
I mean, I'm
Days
not against turn based, but
Days
I prefer hack
Gone.
and slash.
Yeah,
That
Oh, I
game.
forgot that existed. I heard it was awful though.
A lot of
it's
people actually liked it, but I don't know.
I just found an article about somebody saying that a reliable leak source, which that's always a bit 50-50 with me. I take those with a grain of salt, but somebody's like, a reliable leaker on Twitter said Bloodborne might be coming to PC soon because Bloodborne 2 is going
Well,
to be a
it's
PS5 exclusive.
it's been a very that's kind of been up in the water type thing. It's been a rumor for a very, very long time, actually. Because I think way back in 2017, there was like kind of leaks of people of Sony saying that like it is quite possible it could happen. Alongside with like that was also the time where cross-platform was starting to become a little bit like more of a question for PlayStation and Xbox.
Okay, gotcha.
So like it was kind of like a thing that was coming to, because like a lot of people were like, if it ever happened, cross-platforming and all that at the time, a lot of people were thinking like, would games that PlayStation only own, would they just allow other platforms to be able to use it now? So that was like a thought that people came up with, and like Bloodborne wasn't the only game, but Bloodborne was the only game I cared about at the time. When it came to that kind of discussion, like if it came to a different platform, it would be the only game I'd play at this point, man. Like Bloodborne was a big part. Like I loved the game. It was such a good game to me at the very least, and like I was really upset when they released Sekiro. I mean, Sekiro is a really good game, but I was very upset because
Oh, I forgot that existed. I should play that. Sorry.
I've played a little bit of it. I think I got like halfway through it, and then I kind of stopped playing it
That
because
was made
like
by Sucker Punch, right?
I think so. I don't remember
That's what I
actually. It
thought.
was like with
Man, Sucker Punch makes great games.
hold on.
Because Sucker Punch made the Sly Cooper series. They made Infamous, and I'm pretty sure they made Sekiro too. Man, they
also
made a
make
lot of great games I like.
Did they make Sunset Overdrive, or am I thinking of a different company?
Oh, I think that's a different company.
No, I think Sucker Punch made Sunset Overdrive. I'm pretty sure I know exactly. I'm pretty sure they did.
Different company.
Pretty sure they did. Actually,
I'm double checking.
Sekiro was only made by, as far as it says,
it was Insomniac.
Yeah, that's it.
It was that other studio that I'm like, I know like a little bit about.
No, Sekiro was only made with FromSoft. FromSoft is the only
Sekiro?
developer. Yeah,
That can't be right.
that's
No, Sekiro was made by FromSoft. Yeah.
yeah.
Cause I remember when they teased it, people were like, "Oh, Bloodborne's too," and they got really
Yeah.
excited because it said FromSoft, and people were like, "Dead ass." It was a different game.
Oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
You thinking of like Ghost of Tsushima, or what are you thinking of?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was
Ghosts
thinking
of
of.
yeah. I looked at that too. It came up on an article and was like, yeah, no, that might be what he's
I'm
thinking
a
of.
moron. That
Ghost of
bad.
Tsushima isn't actually that bad either,
That's
though.
what I want to play. I don't want to play Sekiro because that's a Souls game. I want to play Tsushima.
I've heard a
I
lot of
think
good
it's a
things
pretty
about
good
that
game.
one too.
Yeah. The most recent game that I actually kind of liked that I haven't really gotten time to really play it again because I've been like in this weird game like depression right now. Where it's called Neo 2 or like the Neo series.
Yeah.
I really wanted to play that more because it's a really fun game. Yet again, it's another Souls like, but it is a really fun game, and I played like the first level of it, and I haven't had time to really go back to it, nor like the want to go back to it really. But I would love to go and play that
Yeah. I
again.
guess there was one like this is like an old series, so I don't know if it's even worth like bringing up anymore. But it was always one that I remember looking up on YouTube as a kid because I was like, man, I really like to play that game. Was like the Resistance series. It was like
Resistance.
it was kind of like
Was that the
yeah,
one where communists took over the states? And it's like a
no, that was
first-person
Homefront.
shooter?
That was
Homefront,
Homefront.
okay.
No, Resistance was like an alien
Resistance.
invasion game with like
Oh, well.
yeah, I don't know. As a kid, I was
Okay.
like, oh, it looks cool, and it's like a
I don't
first-person
think I've ever
shooter
heard of that
alien
one.
game. And I thought it
Resist.
was really cool as a kid, and then I got older and I forgot it existed up until like 5 minutes ago. And I was like, what was that other like PlayStation exclusive that I wanted to play when I was younger? Oh yeah, Resistance. I heard like the first two were good and the third one was ass or something, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't play these games. I was
The
just
only thing I'm
amazed that I
finding are
couldn't
board
that I could.
games.
Yeah,
I think I found it, but I don't really have pictures of it.
yeah.
Is this a
Oh
D&D handbook?
God, I think I've seen stuff on this before.
No, this is a ripoff of Werewolf. What the fuck am I looking at?
Not
Ooh.
Resistance.
All right, so actually, I did think of a topic that I kind of like overlooked. Right now, in the state we're in right now,
Oh, that game.
there has been
Sorry.
what I like to it's fine. There has been kind of like what I like to call is a game drought, where there's not very many games that are coming out right now that are catching everyone's eyes.
Are you talking like in the sense of
Yeah.
like a AAA studio or just like in general?
I think in general, really, like there aren't that many like games out right now that are being able to keep people enticed. I think indie games are still kind of like fun, but the problem with those is they're like not necessarily one-offs, but they get stale very easily, and they don't have
Yeah.
as big of a they don't have as big of a company like backing them to be able to continue making more. So in that sense, like I
Yeah.
guess that also still
It's usually like
counts.
one or two dudes just hammering out like a game on their free time or something.
Yeah. But as far as it goes, like, what are you guys' like thoughts on this game drought that we are having at the moment?
Thankfully, I think I could play. I have a set of games that I think I could play for the rest of my life if I have to. Those being World of Warcraft, Minecraft, and Halo: The Master Chief Collection. If I have those three games, I'm fine. But it is kind of depressing that there's like nothing new or exciting that catches my attention, anyways.
Yeah.
What was it? The last thing that caught my attention was unfortunately Cyberpunk, and that was a major letdown.
That was a big misfire.
I
That
mean, I'll
entire
give it some
situation
time,
was
let them
very
fix it,
unfortunate.
but I'll give it time,
Yeah.
then maybe come back to it. But I don't know. But probably the thing that hit hardest for me was the Halo Infinite delay. I'm
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
slut for Halo. So when they pushed it back a whole fucking year, I was sad. But seeing the stuff that they've been doing with it, it makes me excited, and I can wait.
Those,
Especially with
yeah,
like
those,
the constant stuff they're doing to MCC.
yeah,
But
those screenshots they released like last week or
oh,
so with
they're
like the sniper and the
beautiful.
HUD, God,
It's a
be glorious,
beautiful.
dude.
I haven't actually seen
Then
anything recently on Halo Infinite. I haven't
oh,
been keeping up to
it's
date
so
with it.
good. It's the only thing I'm keeping up to date with besides Warcraft.
Honestly, there aren't very many games that are coming out right now that are like gonna truly catch my eye. Cause
Yeah,
like
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
when it comes to like like the three main games I like would say I mainly play in terms of AAA are like Call of Duty. What else? Like, it's Call of Duty. I guess Minecraft is also a thing. And like FromSoft and Dark Souls and stuff like that. There aren't very many games in their categories that I would say I am looking forward to anytime soon. Because like we don't know much about the newest, like what the newest Call of Duty is gonna end up being. But I'm not really like Call of Duty is a very it's a dying game for me very fast because it's the same thing every time. It's really hard to get a
Yeah.
new formula out of a Call of Duty because it's just the same thing every time. What they're
It's
doing
just
with what
point
they're
and
doing,
shoot.
yeah, what they're doing with the zombies and stuff is actually a good push because like I actually enjoy the new zombies. It is really fun. But again, it does go back to the whole. It gets stale. Like it gets very very old very very fast because it's the same formula that it's always had, which is just kill zombies for points, open doors, do Easter egg if you want. You don't have to. You can just play the game. Like, I don't know. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, sorry. I guess for me, it's been like I kind of play the same set of games too. Like, I mean, I go back and play old games. Like, it's like I'll randomly get a feeling and like, damn, I really want to play Battlefield 4 again because I haven't. The Battlefield 1 hasn't really interested me. Battlefield 5, I haven't even touched. I haven't even bought it, so I have no idea. Let me just minimize for a second. Look, like I've been going back and playing old games just because that's just what I've like. Either games I haven't played yet or games that I was like, man, I really miss playing this game. And I guess with the new games that come out, it's just like nothing really catches my eye that I'm just like, man, I really want to put aside $60 to play that game. And even if it does, I think my limitations is just can I run it since I'm not packing the biggest heat when it comes to computer hardware. So
It's true.
and even if hypothetically if I did at some point I will, but I can't guarantee I'd even really want to put aside money and say, man, I really want to play this game. Like I guess like Valheim I heard was good, but I haven't even paid for it yet. Like I tried it at a friend's place and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is fun, but I can't see myself playing it for more than maybe 30 minutes to an hour because I'd probably get bored with it. With
I think
friends
that's
it's
a game that's
different,
better
but
with friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it
yeah.
is definitely a game that's better with friends.
And that's kind of how I play a lot of my games that either I have to play with friends or I have to be very engaged in what I'm doing. And that's not because I'm like this game's not good enough for my attention kind of snobby. It's just that my attention span is horrid and I need to appease that to a certain
Mhm.
way. If I get stuck on a Persona 4 mission that I've done already or a dungeon, I just go, okay, fuck it, I'm playing a different game. I don't want to play this right now.
I think just about the only games I've been able to ever really do like the whole repeat type thing is Dark Souls, Bloodborne, just because like the new game plus is like they don't really add much, but they like it allows for easy replayability. And Payday 2, one of my biggest games I've played for a long, long, long time. Actually,
Ooh.
I've played so many hours of Payday 2, but Payday 2 is one of the biggest games that I could easily just go back to and just play. But it is also one of those games that it's better with friends because not only does it make the game just overall easier, it also just makes it so much more entertaining.
Yeah.
So
We
like
should play that sometime.
it's a very fun game to play. And it's especially good for messing around because Payday 2 just does not take itself seriously, and that's what I love about it. Is it just doesn't take itself seriously. Like anything in the
Yeah.
game is just it's funny and it's just cool.
The drill, go get it.
Guys, the thermal drill, go get it.
There's this kind of slightly off topic, but I have noticed a big boost in this genre, specifically with like indie games. Is there's a really big push for like these fast-paced, almost boomer shooters, I think is what they're called. Because ever since I
Boomer
think like Doom
shooters.
2016 came out, that style of game where it's like you're moving and strafing and just going fast, shooting everything really fast and clearing out rooms, like that style of game has become has repopularized since then,
Interesting.
especially and Doom Eternal kind of hammered down on that because I've seen so many games come out that are like that, from Ultra Kill. Let me open my Steam account because I know I have so many of these games downloaded. There's Devil Daggers is
Ooh.
fun, Ultra Kill's fun. Uh, what else was there? There was one other one I was thinking of, and I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head right now. Um, I don't know if I'll be able to find it in a timely manner, but it's a fun game. It's mostly just these arena, kind of like Quake, but also kind of Doom, just boomer shooters where you just run around, shoot things, and clear out waves of enemies, move on to the next room, and just keep going until you get to like a boss level. Um, oh, Scorn was what it was called. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's just it's a really fun genre, but it also I feel like it's kind of stale if you play a lot of them, because at some point you're just like, okay, it's just the same formula of move fast, pick up weapons, shoot everything really fast, and get through the level in like a minute kind of
The only
style.
game that I think I could like say I would enjoy that with is Super Hot. I recently just got a
Super
VR
hot.
head. I got a VR headset, and
Fun.
it's kind of like that kind of genre of game, where it's kind of just like it sometimes it's not really fast paced, but it is kind of like it's just like a pickup
Super
gun.
hot. Yeah, super hot's interesting because it is very much like it's almost like anti that, because it's very much you don't the game only moves when you do, so it almost it's like it's telling you to be patient, which I find interesting about ultra or super hot.
I love just going through the levels and just like messing around on them like super fast. It's honestly like really fun to do because it makes it.
Yeah,
I think having that sense of the game or like the time only moves when you move, that adds like a sense of not only like danger, but it adds a sense of entertainment to it, because then now you have this whole entire creativity that you can do with it, because if you move, things will move, but if you also like know how to do things funnily or like do something to your liking, it could be pretty entertaining for a long time.
yeah. It pushes you to be innovative with your surroundings and the situation.
Mm-hmm. Especially like if it's in VR as well, like that's a big thing.
Ah, that's right. Every day I strafe closer and closer to buying a VR headset because
God, I wish I had more
I just keep
physical
hearing
space.
more and more things about VR.
I really want
I
to
wish I had more
play.
physical space. I don't have
I,
enough room to do VR much anymore.
I
Yeah,
honestly
I
I
guess that's the
don't
other thing
have a
too. I
big
don't.
enough
My
room to
room's too
play
small.
VR, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it anyways. Like
Every time I put that thing on my face, I risk smacking my monitor, and I'm not risking that.
I have that
Dude,
risk too, but I have
I
a
have the
little bit more
fear.
space towards the back of my room, so I can back up and keep away from
I
it.
guess I can go longer than I can go wider. That doesn't make any sense.
Excuse me.
I don't
I,
know what I'm trying to say, so I'm not going to say it.
honestly, the only thing I need is if I was able to take out my bed from my room, I would have like perfect space for it.
Yeah. Like, I
Like,
just barely have the minimum space for it.
uh-huh.
Just fold up against the
So.
wall like shitty apartments. Just folds out like really like crappy New York apartments that are like basically just one giant studio,
Yeah.
or it's just a tiny little
The, the
studio.
the
Everything's
the
one
bed
room.
is in the middle of the fucking like room,
Room.
living room type shit.
God, no
Honestly, I'd
thanks.
be fine
I'm
with
good,
that.
man.
Just
I
not
mean,
even
so long as
Minimalist.
it's only you living there, really.
Yeah, I just need me and my cat. Just take it somewhere not New York, and I'd be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Detroit.
Eh.
Nah, because then your whole house gets stolen somehow.
You can't own shit in
You
Detroit.
just have a door frame.
Oh
Can't have shit.
no.
They take your house but they leave your cat in a door frame, and you're like, well, I have something.
And
Is it gonna
somebody
take my
comes by
cat?
and just smacks you and takes your cat in your door frame. Can't
Clocks
have
you
shit
out.
and they can't have shit in Detroit, man. Alright, let's see. As far as those topics go, I think we've gone through a lot of the topics that we wanted to. Or I wanted to, at the very
Yeah,
least.
we've been talking for quite a while. If you want to call it here,
I've been going.
you keep going, whichever works.
Normally I keep track of time with how I do my other podcasts, but this one I have nothing to do with it, so I can't keep track of time.
Well, it's been, let me check. It has been an hour and 20 minutes of recording.
Damn.
So we've been doing this for an hour. I still have some other questions that we could ask, and I don't think at this point I don't think Matt is gonna be showing up.
Yeah,
Cause,
I wouldn't think so.
well, because I think he's turning 21 tomorrow, so he's probably drinking. Unlike
fair
me.
enough. I understand.
I don't, because I
Not
don't
like
do any of
me.
that. I
Couldn't
don't.
if I tried.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's answer some small formal questions right now. Let's start off with, what are your thoughts on Twitter people?
Toxic. Destroy Twitter. Yet I use it every day.
Yeah, I utilize it every day for my own personal need, just to like find
But
memes and
a,
screenshot stuff. But
but a
I wouldn't.
majority of the people on Twitter deserve to die.
Oh my god.
I think there's a plot line in the Battlestar Galactica series, in the new one, not the older series, where for those who are unaware of me and my stupid references, Battlestar Galactica is a series about these humans who live on a different planet who create AI called the Cylons, and the Cylons rise up and try to kill all of them. So they get on giant starships and go to Earth because they think, damn, Earth looks like a cool place. Let's go inhabit that planet, right? So the whole for like it goes on for like 4 or 5 seasons. End of season 5, near the end, they get to planet Earth. Planet Earth has been ravaged and destroyed, and they're like, "Well, what the hell happened here? I thought this place was going to be cool, and we could live here." And then they find a bunch of Cylon technology and realize that they're actually living in some sort of loop where they go to a new planet, they settle down, and they start over like completely technologically. And then when they build up again, then they just jump ship and go to another planet again, and they just keep doing that over and over again. We need to do that with Twitter, where we just need to destroy Twitter and start it back up from the start, and just see if we like, and just kind of like every time it gets really bad, we'll just destroy Twitter and then start it over again.
I'd be fine with that as long as I got to keep my Twitter handle every time.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to risk losing that.
You can pay like it's like a prestige coin that you can use in Call of Duty, where you can keep it, but you have to like,
You have to
as
pay
long
like
as you
60
have
bucks for it.
that URL code or whatever the fuck they have for it,
I'm
you get
too
to
attached to
prestige your
Freebie to
Twitter
lose it.
account.
I'll have to do it.
You
I'm
you
too
get
attached to
like
this name.
you get double verified on Twitter because of that's your prestige.
Oof.
5th verification. That'd
I'd
be
love to be
atrocious.
verified.
Too many blue check marks, man. That's like the common thread though. If you get a blue check mark, you officially have sacrificed your brain cells for Twitter clout.
Well, it's worth it for my handle. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
I need @freebie or I will die.
All right, so I like how I said I was gonna keep it to formal questions, or like I was gonna start asking formal questions, but this is something I just thought of right now because I just looked at one of my questions that I had written down.
Freeball it.
Yeah, Freeball it. That's why
Hey-o.
it's called the Freeballcast so far.
so far.
It may change in the future. I don't know.
Don't
All
worry,
in-
my main podcast changed names like 4 times already.
Every
So
podcast
this
is a
this
new
question.
name. That's
It was like that for a while, yeah.
So this question is kind of like related to the question that we had like gone over, which is like the game drought. But rather than it being like, what are your thoughts on a game drought? What are your thoughts on like what kind of thing would you like to see in newer games? It doesn't matter the genre. It doesn't matter like, the specific company. Just matters on like what kind of game would you like to see in the future?
I want
a good
the next expansion of World of Warcraft, but to be good.
In what ways? Expand on your thoughts. As I'm treated like an English class.
I didn't prepare my notes for this. Shit.
This is only the rough draft. You can submit your final.
I don't know. I would just like Blizzard to learn like what they've learned from what they've done with the classic stuff, but more so integrate it with like the more recent things.
Okay.
Like what
Because
recent
I like
things?
like Shadowlands, like the new stuff. I would like them to take like the challenge and the immersion of like classic WoW and somehow bring it back. Not saying that I don't like Shadowlands. This is the best expansion I would say since Mists of Pandaria, but it just doesn't have the same feel, you know?
Yeah, I think my mom plays World of Warcraft or used to play World of Warcraft a lot, and she's kind of thought the same thing. Like this, they don't really do a good job at keeping you enticed with how the game is right now.
No, like when it happens with me in WoW right now is I'll play for like I don't know, maybe like 2 hours a day, stop, next day 2 hours a day, and I just do the same literally the same thing every day. That's just what you do right now, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
It feels more like a chore than a game.
Yeah, because you have to stay on top of like with Shadowlands, it's like the renown grind for like your faction or whatever to get like all these cosmetic things that I need and want to look pretty in the afterlife. Not saying that going back to how it was in Classic would be any easier. If anything, it would be way harder to do that, but I would enjoy having like the challenge or to be slower or something like that. I don't know.
I will say this, I did play Classic for a bit, because, like, I used to play World of Warcraft, not, like, a whole lot, but I used to play it. I also used to play it when it, like, was first, like, in that, like, kind of, where it was
The good
starting.
days.
Yeah, it was the good days. I was in it with the good days, where it's just simplistic, nothing, like, super serious or super convoluted.
Where everything was a mystery because data mining wasn't a thing at the time, so it was all word of mouth.
Exactly. So, like, I
that's
played...
something I like.
Yeah, like, I wish we could bring that kind of stuff back, where, like...
Yeah.
We could bring the challenge of how old WoW used to be, because like, when you started out, you really didn't feel that powerful.
No.
And
now
nowadays
everywhere
you just
you go, it's champion this, champion that. Good world, fucking champion.
you saved the world like 6 times before this, so save it again.
It's just like every superhero movie.
You literally just killed the super demon. Good job. Go do it again.
You literally just killed the super demon. Now go kill the super demon. That's somewhere off in the same land.
We
He's
don't
the same
know where,
demon, but he's blue this time.
We don't know where, but you're gonna have a
love that in
mod
some
that can
games.
just point out where that boss is.
God, I either want the feel of classic WoW in the newer stuff, or just give me Wrath of the Lich King 2. All I need.
Yeah.
Wrath of the Lich King is where it was at.
Oh yeah.
I
for
mean,
sure.
I fucking have the Lich King helmet on my desk right now. That's what I want in my life right now. Give me Wrath of the Lich King. Well, I mean, they did just announce Classic Burning Crusade, so they're probably going to do Classic Wrath at some point.
Yeah, probably will.
So that's when that happens. You're only going to find me in Northrend, baby.
Well, actually,
I ain't leaving the
this is
frozen
actually a topic that I was thinking about talking about. Where it's funny to me how a lot of the games that have been doing well in these past few years have been all remastered.
Oh, dude, did you see anything from BlizzCon this year?
I have not really.
That's all it was. It's like classic this, classic that. Diablo 2
You like
remastered, classic Hearthstone, classic
Yeah,
Burning Crusade.
well, I mean, like that's the thing is like that's what I'm trying to say is like you have so many games that have been remastered that like people obviously it's good that they did it because the games are fun. But it's at the
Mhm.
same time, it's sad when a remaster of a game that was like 11 years old is what people want more than what people are getting nowadays.
It's sad, but I also love it because there's a lot of old games that I'm still playing like fucking Halo 3. I play that almost every day. And that game's what, 14 years old now?
It is very old, yes.
Something like that. I still play that every day. They just announced the remakes for the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl games. I fucking jizzed everywhere, man. I was at work too when they announced it, so it was not an easy cleanup. Uh, but
Just did it in the aisles.
ugh.
clean up in aisle 6?
As
Oh,
excited as I
fuck.
am for all these new games or for the old games coming back, I do wish that, you know, maybe have like a different team dedicated to the old stuff, but have like the main focus of like your bigger team be on the new stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think that's the problem with gaming right now is the formula is just like there's not like new things. They have good ideas. Like there's a game that I recently played a demo for. It's called Outriders. I think it's coming out. I think sometime at the. I think it's within a month. I can't remember exactly, but it's coming out soon.
Okay.
But I played the demo for it, and it's kind of like a. In a sense, the way I would like to describe it is, it felt like Anthem in the sense that it has a good idea, but I have a very scared feeling that the game will not be able to like provide with those ideas. Like it's got a good formula, but like it's also kind of like a genre of game that I'm not really like looking to play right now, which is like a looter shooter type stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's not like looter shooters are hard to get into cuz like it really revolves around needing to like the content that is provided in front of you, and that's the hardest part about this game right now is like I have a feeling I'm not gonna like the way the game is, and like I'm not really gonna get too
Yeah.
interested in it because when I play, even when it comes to looter shooters, I like to play games for a story. I like to have a story behind what I'm playing rather than just not. That's the biggest reason why I love like Dark Souls games and stuff like that. As the story may not be presented to me, but there is a story there, so long as you're willing to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like like I just love having a game where it can be really cryptic with its story, but good at telling it at the same time.
Kind of sounds like that one game Control that came out. People were
Oh yeah,
confused about what that game was about, but they
was
were
it
like,
that
"Yeah,
was a
Control's fun."
complete mind fuck of a game, dude. that's
I
like
Yeah.
that's
haven't
like
played that, but I
evil.
really
What
want
is it?
to.
Evil Within. Those games were good because those were just a complete mindfuck. Nobody knew what was happening half the time, but it was a fun game because it was a cool
I'm
survival
scared
game.
and I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me personally, I don't really have like a specific game type that I feel like super compelled for. I guess I haven't played a very. The first thing that I guess comes to mind is I haven't played a very Arkham style like beat 'em up game in a while. And I remember really liking the setup in the Arkham games. I mean, I guess Spider-Man PS4 was like that, but like I said, I don't have access to a PS4, so I really can't play it. But I do, even if it's not superhero themed, like either Batman or Spider-Man, I still would like to have a very beat 'em up, like because I like the idea of just a room full of dudes and the main character being tough as fuck, just walks in and punches his way through all of them. Like it's like a power fantasy kind of thing that I really get into. But I have noticed that this, I'm not speaking much for myself as I am speaking for the other community a little bit. But I do notice that there has been a big push in the fighting game community for rollback netcode. If you guys know what that is at all.
Nope. I do
Okay,
not
so
care about fighting games.
most games utilize. I have an article pulled up so I can actually know what I'm talking about. Main fighting games use delay-based netcode, which waits for the input to be received by the other player before simulating the next frame. This practice has been criticized due to the high latency issues it causes when playing against other people. Even if two players have strong wired connections and are playing relatively close to each other, delay-based netcode still causes frame delays, which lead to missed inputs and slow reaction time against opponents. Rollback netcode corrects this problem
Mm.
by simulating frame inputs rather than waiting for them to be received by the other player. When the inputs are received, the state of the game is rolled back to the correct state if any input didn't match the prediction. This rollback helps minimize lag and corrects players' inputs, resulting in near lagless experiences. And surprisingly,
Okay.
for as amazing as a system this is for a lot of fighting game players, there aren't a lot of games that use it. Only like a handful of fucking games use it. But recently there has been a big push, and a lot of companies like Bandai Namco, Capcom, and so on have been like, okay, we get it. It's a better system. We'll try to use it because they just started trying to put it. I think they started trying to put it in Tekken. They're trying to put it in Street Fighter a little bit because Street Fighter actually had a problem where somebody modded the game and released a mod to put rollback in it, and they got pissed off and Capcom got pissed and said no, you can't do that, and had to have the mod removed. And everybody went, "What the fuck? I can finally play Street Fighter 5 without lag." And they went, oh, "Okay, I guess you make a good point." So, and like one of the most notorious games that I've seen, I think, or at least two of them I can think of that have like rollback that people really enjoy are like Skullgirls and Killer Instinct, because those games are like smooth as butter playing online. Even if you have like a mediocre connection, you can still probably make it work if you're willing to push it. So, other than that, I mean, that's all really I want. I just like games where I can beat the shit out of people and shoot things. I'm a very simple person.
Those are fun. Simple needs. But
Yeah. Maybe someday I'll get good at fighting games instead of just kind of watching them, then going, I know how to do 3 combos and I'm good.
I mean, the
That
only
Power Rangers
fighting game
fighting
I've
game
ever
that came
cared
out.
for. Power Rangers fighting game? Hold on, go on.
Yeah, you haven't heard of Battle for the Grid? Battle for the Grid's amazing. I need to play it more often, and it's getting like so much content update that people are
The
amazed it's
fuck?
doing so well.
I mean, the only fighting game I've ever cared for is Smash, but a
Yeah,
Power
Smash is its
Rangers
own
game?
breed. It's weird that there's like a weird distinction between Smash and the other fighting game community. I don't know. I don't fully understand it, so I can't speak on it too much. But there's like a weird thing where there's fighting games and then there's Smash Bros fighting games, and it's like, why is there like a? Is it just because the formula is different and it's not like a
It's only
2D 3D platform, or what
it's
is it?
only $20.
Yeah, it's $20, and then you gotta if you want to get the full experience, you gotta pay for like the other seasons. But yeah,
Oh,
Battle
that's okay.
because the base roster's not bad, but if you want to get like the other Rangers that come in the later seasons, then you got to pay for like the other expansions and stuff. But it's still really good. It's
That's
not
going in
horribly.
my wish list.
Get Battle for the Grid. It's awesome.
I don't care for this shit, but this Power Rangers, man.
Power Rangers, man.
Apparently, it's very accessible too. Like people are like, if you're not, even if you're not good at like most fighting games, it's probably the most accessible team fighter you can play from like that's
Single
like
player,
Marvel versus
online,
Capcom.
split screen, cross platform, full controller support. Wow. This
Yeah, it's
has
got all those tags.
everything.
Visual novel. Wait, what?
What?
I'm just kidding. It's not a. It has a story mode, but not that kind of story mode.
Oh god, that'd be scary. Visual
God, visual
novels
novels are a
are.
weird subsection.
Oh my god, dude. There are some scary ones. Like, Joe, you
The
remember
only
that?
visual novel I've ever played is like Danganronpa, but that's because it had other things going on than just clicking on remembering if a character likes carrots or some bullshit like that, so that date me.
Dude, fucking. Reminds me of the time we went to Troy's house, and
Yeah.
I don't remember the guy's name, but he was in Troy's room playing games on his PC, like
Oh
while
yeah,
everybody else.
Martez.
Yeah, he was playing some weird ass thing. Like, I'm not even gonna mention it because it was basically just porn.
I
This
think
is
it was.
weird.
I think it was one of the Danganronpa like games. I don't remember.
Like,
Maybe not, but I remember walking into and going, "Oh, you're doing this," and then I just
yeah, and then Troy came out the next minute saying, "Bro, he's just playing porn." Oh man, that I hate to laugh at that because it feels like I'm laughing at the guy, but it was a
we
funny thing to
don't worry. We
happen.
give him shit about it to his face, and he doesn't care. So
All right, well, let's see. Let me see if I have any other really topics that seem like I might want to add.
I feel like the icon that we're gonna make for this, if whenever I get around, if one of us or me get around to it, is just gonna be like a dodgeball with a little piece of tape on it that just says "free." That'll be our clever cover for everything.
A Freeball. That's actually funny. All right, well, I think that is about all the topics I really wanted to go over. There are other topics that I would like to go over, but I would like to go over with them with like certain people.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave those for
Are
another
we not cool
podcast.
enough?
No, you guys just don't really. Some of them are like
We're not
specific.
toxic enough for you.
No, some of them are just specific game people and people I have specific questions for.
Fair enough.
If you want to ask do you want to ask a crackhead about the theory of like relativity, or do you want to talk to an actual physicist about that? Pick your poison.
Honestly, the crackhead, that sounds more entertaining.
That does sound.
He doesn't know anything
more
about it. Shut up. That
Alright,
crackhead's
well,
gonna
I-
stop every 5 seconds to remember where he is because he's so cracked out.
I think that is a good
You're
spot
gonna have to
to
like
call
look
it.
at him from a different direction.
Okay. Alright, well, I think that's a good spot to call it, really. We've been going for, I believe, almost an hour and 40 minutes now.
Nice.
Nice.
So, thanks everybody for showing up. Been enjoyable.
Yeah, no problem.
It hopefully be up soon-ish, I think. But I don't know. I can be very lazy sometimes.
You know,
No
I
worries.
feel that.
Well,
no one's looking forward to this podcast outside of us, so there's no pressure.
Well, no one else knows it exists outside of us, so take your
Exactly.
time.
But
But
that will
yeah,
soon change.
maybe if later on, like Matt or something comes in, I might just do like a separate little podcast with them later if they're willing to. Otherwise, I might just play games and stream after this. Just depends.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that has been the, as I like to call it so far, the Freeball cast. Maybe I might have to look into like doing an MS Paint version of a dodgeball taped to a free sign.
It's gonna look gross, but very fitting at the same time.
Exactly. All right. I think that's a good place to call it.
All right.
Woo.
Cool.